Ask This Old House, our experts travel across the country to answer questions about your house. Today, we'll demonstrate how to mount a flat screen TV. Okay, just fits right in there. Then we'll show you how to build your own bird bath.
This is my little design, one of hundreds that I've done in the past.
That is awesome. And we'll visit some old friends to repair a Newel post damaged by a four-legged culprit. On Ask This Old House. Hey, Nathan.
Hey, Kevin, how's it going?
Oh, you getting ready to mount my TV?
I can if you want me to.
Sure, why not?
So we get a lot of questions about TV mounts. So I thought it'd be great to cover 3 basic TV mounts here.
Okay.
So we have a fixed. This is great if you're gonna hang your TV right in front of you. You don't have to go above anything. You can go with that model. Tilting is great if you have to go above a mantle, a fireplace, maybe an entertainment center.
Bring it down.
Tilt it down, better line of sight. And here's the all the bells and whistles, the full motion model. Now this is great if your TV's maybe in the corner, you need to bring it out. You can also get a lot more adjustment with the tilting, and you even get a little bit of left to right with this to level it out.
Which one you want to install today?
Let's go with the full motion.
Yeah.
But the first thing we need to do is find some studs.
So drywall.
Just a drywall wall, really easy. Easiest way to find studs, 2 different ways. Electronic, just turn it on, run it across. This one's really nice because this will actually pinpoint the exact center of the stud. Right there will make a mark.
Yep.
Another option is to just go old school, use a magnet. This one's really simple. It's going to find the screw that's embedded in the drywall. So you find one of those on this side, come over to another stud. Oh, we found another one there. Those should be 16 on center. Now that we have that, we can do our plumb marks down, bring the bracket over and mount that.
Let's go old school.
One there.
Well, that thing really grabs it, doesn't it?
Yeah. Hold it plumb.
All right.
There.
You want to confirm.
A little bit more, 16 1/4. So these screws might not be perfectly in the center, but that's definitely close enough for us.
Yep, okay.
So now we'll bring over our level and we'll just plumb these lines down.
So we're just giving ourselves a bigger mark to hit.
Yep. The mount is about 9 inches from hole to hole.
Beautiful. Okay.
Cover that. So now we have this.
So you got a couple of holes there.
And this bracket actually comes with a little level on it.
Oh, nice. Like a little picture hanging level.
So come my way a little bit.
You tell me where you like.
Nice and level there.
Okay.
All right. So now these lags are pretty thick, so I'm going to use an 1/8 inch bit. I'm going to pre-drill.
And that's when you know if you got the stud or not.
Yeah.
That's going to pop right through if you miss the stud.
So now we have our lag bolts washer on
So
top.
let me see what you got there. I mean, that's a beefy bolt right
Yeah.
there, right? I mean, this is going to be holding a lot of weight, so they give you the right ones, use them.
Yeah, and you need to pay attention when you're buying your mounts that you need to know the weight of your TV. Now we can go put the plate on the back of the TV. All right, so here's the TV I brought in. It's a little bit older, don't make fun of it. So you can see it has these threaded receivers on the back.
Right, which is pretty standard, right?
Very standard, so it's part of a VISA standard, and every TV should have a VISA standard, and it's just the distance from hole to hole in millimeters.
Okay.
So these brackets are for our larger TV. We're actually not going to use these, but we will talk about them. Simply mount these on the back, and then those crossbars will get mounted this way, and then this plate will get mounted onto that. So you can hit an array of VISA standards.
And the reason you have them is because the bigger TVs, these threaded inserts could be much further apart top to bottom.
Exactly.
And then we could be going left to right a bunch.
Yep, yeah, so you work with a bunch of different manufacturers.
We got so many different holes, you're probably going to hit your threaded inserts.
Exactly.
Regardless of what TV you use.
Luckily for us, my old TV, we'll just toss this plate right on the back and you can see it lines up with all 4 of those threaded inserts.
Okay.
So we'll just grab a washer. Now another thing to keep in mind is some of the newer TVs have a bit of a curve back to them. So you can see in that kit they have some rubber spacers.
Oh, yeah.
So you would put those on behind this bracket, so that way you don't crush the back.
Gotcha.
You can see that we just mounted this directly to the studs in a 16-ounce center, but it puts our center line over here. So if we wanted this to be centered over a mantle or a fireplace, that wouldn't quite work for us. But the problem is this moves in 16-inch increments left and right.
Because we want to hit the studs with the bracket.
Exactly. So a cheat around that is to inlay a piece of 1/2-inch plywood onto the studs. So you screw the plywood on, and then that gives you the chance to move this left to right.
So plywood to studs, and then bracket the plywood.
Exactly.
Put it anywhere you want.
So that plywood needs to be wider, a little bit wider, smaller than the TV, but wider. That gives you a chance to move this, to put this center line exactly where you want.
Got it. Okay.
Another thing I want to talk about is cable management. So this would be the time for you to put any boxes, top and bottom, that you wanted. You know where your studs are. You can chase your cables right down.
Right.
So you want to bring your power up. You can also run your HDMI cord. You can run your cable. This would be the time to do that. If you don't want to do that, you could just use some wire mold.
Gotcha. Surface mount wire mold. Okay. Ready to hang?
Let's do it.
I'll give you a hand with it, but it's such a small TV. Okay. Oh, it just fits right in there.
Yeah.
And then once it's in there, I mean, this is the full motion, right? Left,
out,
right,
left, right.
little up and down.
Up, down.
Forward and back.
Send it home.
And then just tuck it in when you're done at the end.
Yep. Put it
Not
away.
bad.
Yeah.
So pretty straightforward. Just make sure you got the right hardware.
It really is, but you just got to consider size of your TV, weight of your TV, and the Visa layout on the back before you buy any of your mounts.
All right. Thank you, Nathan.
No problem.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, Kevin.
I have been waiting for this.
I know.
Ever since I heard you were a Birdbath guy, I've been wanting to do this. This
Right.
is awesome.
Oh, yeah, no, this is great stuff.
Is this your little design here?
So this is my little design, one of hundreds that I've done in the past.
That is awesome.
But you can see it holds water very nicely.
So, like, what are you looking for? How do you approach it? What's the game plan?
So first off, I'm gonna select the stones.
Yeah.
The criteria isn't much. It's really about compatibility. I want stones to look good together.
Okay.
I got lucky over here. This finished stone is about 18 inches high. Again, the two-piece. But the difference between what we're gonna do and what this is, that is a unified piece of granite.
So top and bottom, identical stone.
Yes.
Found them right next
Right.
to each other, worked them together. So these two, they look pretty similar.
So they're both granites, but you can see the coloration is different. If they're compatible visually, it's a go.
Okay. You got these from your secret stash, I presume?
I got these from my secret stash, which starts right out in my backyard, but if you don't have that ability, you can go to a stone yard. You can select your stone. They have piles and piles. Pick the two stones that you like, bring them over to the scale, get them weighed. They'll tell you how much they cost.
I gotta buy stone by weight?
I know.
Well, like, what does it cost generally by weight? Like, what's the...
$10 for this.
Oh.
$10 for that is
Oh,
all
that's
they weigh
not
out
bad.
to.
All right,
Yeah,
that's
so
good.
it's not bad.
Okay, so we're gonna put these two together, make a bird bath. That's the plan. How are we
That's
gonna
right.
attack it?
So this is the base, and you can see why I've chosen this for the base.
And this is clearly a top, right? I mean, it's almost a plate already.
That's right. The shape, this circumference is a great shape for a dish, but again, look at that. You can use different shapes. If I have 100 bird baths that I've made, none of them are duplicated. None of them are the same shape. They're always just a little bit different. So
A McCullough original.
exactly.
Let's get to work.
All right, let's go.
A couple bags of sand. That's not a bad idea.
All right, yeah. So the sand is pretty important, and it helps us out for two reasons. Number one, we need to balance this stone,
Yep.
and that seems balanced. And also, most importantly, this is going to simulate our grade. So if we can fit this into the grade where it's nice and balanced, and then we can assess what we want to do on top, that's the best way to do it, because that's where it's going to sit, is in the grade.
So we don't need to be perfectly flat on the bottom because we're going into the ground.
Right, we want to wiggle it into that and make that perfect.
Okay.
All right.
So how do you want to start?
So we're going to have to dry fit this, so you're going to take that end, I'll take this end, and we'll go right on top.
Oh, for God's sakes.
A little heavy. 1, 2, 3.
Wow, that's heavy. That's heavy. The birds have got it good.
So the funny thing about this, Kevin, is it's almost perfect right now.
It really is pretty good, huh?
Yeah. So I'm just looking at high spots and low spots as usual.
Yep.
The high spots obviously are holding this guy in place. I'm not getting too much wiggle, but there might be a little spot that we're going to chip right here.
Okay, so just that one little spot, you thinking?
I'm thinking just that spot. I thought we had a couple more, but that's why we dry fit it, so we don't overwork.
Shows well.
That looks pretty good, but I think we're here, in here.
So how do you want to attack those?
So I think we'll try first with our hammer and chisel.
Yeah.
So I know this is going to flake off, so I just want to get under it.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. That wasn't much at all.
But it's almost perfect for what we need. So
Okay.
why don't you take that chisel, Kevin?
So
the
in
hammer.
knocking something like this, you want me to go away from it? You want me to come into it?
So it's almost a feel. Now, if I was to take that off, I think what I would do is come down with the chisel here, here, and here, straight down, make some relief cuts, if you will, and then attack them to chip them out.
Mine's not flying off like yours did.
But you know what? You're doing what we need, so that's great. Oh, yeah, that's great. So once you get to that point, Kevin, I just take a hammer and I'll kill it just a little bit, make it a little flatter.
Yep. So do we throw it back up on again?
Got to dry fit it again. And this is not a perfect science, so wiggle it around, find its best position.
That's pretty sturdy.
That's
right there.
sturdy as heck. I love it.
I don't see any daylight underneath
Nope.
there either.
Great job chipping that, Kevin. See that? See how flat that area is now?
Yep.
So that went really well. It doesn't always go that well. This one did. But let's get this guy off. All right, Kevin, so the first thing I want to do is establish what I think the center might be. Take this point chisel, dig around, and just be able to fit another bigger chisel in.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to take our pencil and we're going to trace our dish.
Following a little bit of the natural contours.
Yep. You and I will just start digging within those lines.
I like handwork that it's not too precise and you can't screw up.
That's right. No, this is why this is great.
So Mark, I know this is therapy for you doing it by
Right.
hand, but let's just say somebody wanted to get it done.
Yeah.
Would you ever use power tools?
So I would. It actually is the way to go these days. It speeds everything up. You can use a circular saw, you can use a grinder. The most important part, of course, is that HEPA vac. So you got to go to the store, rent that HEPA vac. If you don't have it, hook it up to your tool. And all we're going to do at this point is make relief cuts. We'll go back to the hand tools, and you'll see that everything just pops out. We're good.
Birds gonna like it?
Birds are gonna like it. We're deep enough.
And you wanna flip?
Flip.
Oh yeah.
Next thing we have to do is connect the two pieces. That looks center of the stone. Once we establish where we want to drill, we're gonna use a little bit of caulking. We're just gonna make a dab. Then you and I are gonna take this dish back, and we're gonna place it,
Transfer the mark.
transfer the mark. All right, so next step is to put in the pin. We're gonna use not an epoxy, but an epoxy putty.
Okay.
Yep. So we're gonna secure the pin into the bottom only because if you ever have to move this bird bath anywhere, you wanna do it in two pieces, not the one. You and I know how heavy they are.
I do now.
Yeah. I'm gonna use a stainless steel pin, Kevin. Obviously, this is gonna be outside, so it's gonna get wet. And then I'll even give it a little twist. Drop her in, Kev.
Oh, there it is.
Here we go.
Feel that. And like you said, there's some
Just-
play. I can
There's a
move
little
this
bit
around.
of play. And actually, you just moved it into perfect position.
You like it there?
I love it.
Look at that color.
Look at that.
That is terrific. Man, I love it, Mark. Great little projects. Gonna look terrific in the yard.
Yeah.
Just need a couple birds.
No. I always attract the birds. That's the easiest part.
That's a fun project.
Yeah, that's
Nice
good.
job.
All right, thanks.
Hey,
Hey,
Paul, how are you?
Tommy,
Nice to
great
see
to
you.
see ya.
Hey, Maddie, how
Nice
are
to
you?
see
Good to
you.
see you.
Come on in.
Oh boy, the place looks beautiful. I
Thank
still
you.
remember being here. How long ago?
14 years.
Wow, 14 years ago. Doesn't seem possible. Room looks like we were here the other day. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. The paint job, Bookcases, same thing in there.
We've been enjoying it.
And the stairway. I absolutely loved the stairway.
It made us fall in love with the house all
Yeah.
those years ago.
I can understand why, but you wrote me about a little bit of a problem.
Yeah, well, we had a new member of the family. This is Rocky.
Rocky's the problem?
Yeah, well.
He decided to use our beautiful staircase as a teething toy.
Oh, I see some damage right here. Well, that's not too bad. We can put some filler on that. Big deal is matching the stain to the filler.
Well, if that was the only area that he bit, that would be one thing. But right over there in the corner, he did a lot of damage.
Ooh, that's a
and
big
on this
chunk.
Newel post, 3 of the 4 corners, he really bit.
Oh, yeah, he definitely was hungry.
Yes.
All right, so seeing how there's that much damage, I don't want to put filler on all those. Let me look at this profile. I think we can take them all off, replace them, but I can't match the detail exactly right because that would be making a custom knife. But I have a router bit that I think will come close to that detail, and we can stain them up and replace them all.
Let's get started.
All right.
Great.
Now they should come off pretty easy. There should just be a finish nail on there. All right, Maddie, so you're going to help with the staining, right?
Yep.
Perfect. So I brought a piece of scrap white oak because I remember the staircase was white oak and all the molding that we made in the house. I'm also doing this from memory, not only on the profile for the molding, but for the stain. And I'm thinking a nutmeg stain will work, but if it's too light or too dark, I brought some tinting, some more stain that we could either add lightness to it or darkness to it. So let's start with the one that I'm hoping works. It's a gel stain. You're going to just apply it with a rag.
And I'll apply it to the whole area.
Apply it to the whole area. And I would just lay it right on pretty heavy if you
Okay.
want.
All right.
Yeah, that looks good. All right, so now let's put some of this on this end here. This is a little lighter. See if it does anything.
Okay.
All right,
And dark.
we'll do some dark.
Okay. Not too much of this one, though.
Oh yeah, that's
That's
dark,
very
all right. Yeah, I think you get that on there and then just take a dryer rag and wipe it off. Oh yeah, that definitely darkens it up. Yeah, looks good though.
It does.
I think that looks pretty good.
It does.
Let's see how you did. Wow. What do you think?
I wasn't thinking originally that it was lighter, but either the light or the medium. I think the dark is.
Yeah, the
pretty
dark is
dark.
Yeah, the dark is definitely dark. But I mean,
Although-
we hold on different parts of the wall. You're going to get different catch because it's wood and it stains differently.
And the old piece that we took off was on the darker side.
Yeah, and that's because of the age of the house over time. The finish gets, you know, the dirt that's collected from anything and everything over the years. Next thing I want to do is go outside. I brought some wood. We can cut some profiles and see what you like. All right, so we're ready to start cutting the moldings to replace them. This is a piece of white oak, and I'm going to cut the detail, which is called an OG detail. And it's basically an outside curve and an inside curve with a flat transition.
That's
All right, now I have this exact bit in the router table right here. So all I'll do is I'll run this through and see how it looks. So that's our detail right there, and then that'll go up. But I'm looking at it, I'm saying it's a little bit plain, so I might want to put a little detail in right here to separate this wide section, and I'll do that on the table saw. See how that changes the profile? All right, so we're going to sand this up, and I'm going to use some 180 sandpaper in our sander. That should take it down pretty easy. All right, Maddie, the first one sanded. Ready for you.
All right, what now?
Okay, so what you're going to do is I would suggest taking a rag and wiping it on pretty thick. And if you can get it in the crack somehow with a rag, or I don't know if you have anything to push it down there, but just wipe it in, get it nice and thick, give it a little, that'll give it a little time to settle in, and then just wipe it clean.
What if it gets all balled up in there?
Well, we'll be able to get it out. We'll use a stick or a Q-tip or something.
Okay,
We'll get it out. And it doesn't matter if it stays in there anyways, because if you look at the deep lines, the stain gets in there, and you can't wipe it out completely, but it also adds to the little detail.
Perfect.
All right, so you get this started on this. I'll go get some more. I can then start cutting the pieces while you're staining.
Perfect.
Because the blocks are square, I'm going to do 45-degree miter cuts, but I'm going to cut the pieces long and then get the exact length later. What I'm going to do is I'm going to glue it in place, and I'll just shoot it with a pin nailer to hold it. All right, there you go. Last piece of molding is on. I think it looks pretty good. What do you think?
That's beautiful. They all blend in with all the different work and all the different lighting. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, I think Maddie did a great job staining and matching it perfect.
Thank you. It looks perfect. Question for you to make sure that this doesn't happen again. When can I put on the dog repellent spray?
Well, first of all, I wouldn't put anything on this now because, believe it or not, the stain is still wet and it's off-gassing a little bit, so I don't think you should chew that. But I would say that tomorrow or sometime this weekend, if you get a chance, I brought you some wipe-on poly, okay? Just put it on like you're putting on the stain with a rag. Wait about 2 to 3 hours between coats, and tomorrow you should be able to get 3 coats on with no problem. Then wait a couple of days before you spray it for the dog.
Will do.
All right?
All right, so Rocky, you're going to be a good boy?
He promises to be a good boy.
Promise, give him dog biscuits, no more oak.
Okay, great.
All right, guys, I'm going to pick up my stuff and get out of your hair, and thanks for your help.
Thank you so
All right,
much.
thank you so much.
All right,
Once
bye-bye.
again.
Next time on Ask This Old House, Ross will explain how he became an engineer and share what he loves about his job. Then, from claw hammers to sledgehammers to electrician's hammers, we'll tell you how to select the right hammer for your job. Plus, we'll explain how to tackle some of the most common emergency plumbing problems, and we'll show you how to remove and replace a garage door. All that on Ask This Old House.